Yoshi's Island is a very deceptive game. It has an amazing pastel colored art style and an extremely calming and upbeat soundtrack, so you think to yourself, wow, this is a gaga game for babies. But then it slowly seeps in. This is actually a psychological horror game. If any of you have ever heard of Yoshi's Island, you probably know about the crying Mario. Every time Yoshi takes damage, Baby Mario starts screaming into your ears until you pop his bubble and rescue him. This paired with some semi-difficult platforming results in countless restless nights and extreme depression. But seriously though, whoever decided Mario needed to have the most headache-inducing cry was probably the same bastard that thought it would be funny for Donkey Kong 64 to have collectibles only obtainable by certain characters. We don't forget, Rareware. We don't forget. Anyways, let's talk about how Yoshi's Island starts. So you guys know how babies are made, right? Yeah, storks. So Mario and Luigi are being flown through the air by a stork, but suddenly, Kamek comes out of nowhere to intervene. Kamek splits the brother up by kidnapping Luigi, and Mario falls down into Yoshi's Island. A bunch of Yoshis decide to help Mario reunite with his kidnapped brother, and set off for Baby Bowser's castle. I was pleasantly surprised with the difficulty of this game. While I don't think every game needs to be a death march, I do enjoy games with some sort of challenge, and Yoshi's Island isn't Kirby's Epic Yarn Easy, which I was glad to find out. It's no Dark Souls obviously, but some of the platforming and puzzle solving gets pretty intense, especially with the demon child screaming into your ear. Yoshi's Island has an amazing atmosphere. It goes for a unique soft-like art style, which I love. Everything just has this whimsical charm to it, and a lot of the characters feel like something I would draw when I was younger, which adds to my enjoyment of this game. It feels like you're playing through a coloring book, which just gives me that sweet, sweet serotonin. As I mentioned earlier, Yoshi's Island has upbeat and calming songs. When the game tries to be intimidating and daunting, it does this perfectly with some foreboding music that plays in the background of the castles. I love it. Overall, the atmosphere in Yoshi's Island is just amazing, and I love the art direction this game goes for. As for gameplay, the game mostly follows a cycle of platforming, defeating enemies, and collecting. It's simple, fun, and has a really cool mechanic where Yoshi can swallow enemies to make an egg, which he can then throw for collectibles, puzzle solving, and defeating other enemies. The enemies in this game are pretty great. There's a used condom, literal drugs, and monkeys that drop bombs on you for some reason. The enemies are pretty random and crazy, and they add a lot of enjoyment to this already amazing game. The only gripe I have is that sometimes the game just throws way too many enemies at you at once, making it nearly impossible to rescue your ears from Baby Mario. This game has 2 castles in each world, and every castle has a boss in it. Normally, these bosses are just normal enemies but bigger, which sounds lame, but it is pretty cool at times. The giant red shell Koopa looks like he smokes crack, and you get to destroy this asshole frog's insides. Although the bosses are probably a weaker part of this game, they're still interesting enough to keep me interested. Now, the final boss is a different story. Baby Bowser is one of the scariest final bosses I've ever fought. After Kamek makes Baby Bowser huge, he turns into this giant horrifying monster with glowing eyes. He slowly marches towards you as he destroys the ground you stand on. It was probably one of the coolest and most memorable boss fights in Nintendo history, and I think I'll always remember that satisfying feeling of beating this game. Overall, Yoshi's Island is amazing, and I'm glad I played it. It's a beautifully crafted game with lots of charm, and even though some of the later levels are ridiculously hard, I still love this game, and after you beat it, you will never have to listen to Mario cry again. Thank you for watching.